have seen the westerns featuring desolate landscapes and tough-talking macho men and women for good measure. This landscape has provided the setting for many a western. But these are not the only movies filmed in Utah, although this land does provide the perfect setting for westerns. There is also the Salt Lake, after which Salt Lake City is named, and there are salt flats that surround the lake and line the land between the Salt Lake and the Nevada border. So, what is it that gives preference to this barrenness as compared to that in Nevada, New Mexico, or even Arizona? Why would someone prefer to come to Utah as opposed to the others that I just mentioned? From a personal point of view, this state is very sparsely populated. It has a lot of cows, especially in the south, and the north is Salt Lake City and the whole metropolitan area that surrounds Salt Lake City. So perhaps the only thing that we can say with absolute certainty that is remarkable about this land is its proximity to nothing. You have the freedom of the open spaces, you have the freedom of no audience in the way of your filming, and you have the freedom of the barrenness. You can go wherever you want, however you want, without fear or favor. I suppose that is the spirit of the Old West, when this was the frontier, when people were moving west and exploring the new lands. It would appear that they avoided settling here, and for good reason. It doesn't rain here, there is no food, no water, there are no wild animals except for scorpions and critters that want to cause you some serious harm. So I can understand why people left this area alone. And yet therein is the charm. The fact that the land is tough. You get to be tougher than the land to stay here. And so those movies and engagements that are filmed here reflect that spirit of toughness. We are macho men and we can conquer this land, and we'll conquer you in the process as well. These rock pebbles that you see are the results of the attrition that is characteristic of nature. Breaking the rocks up, minerals are released and they end up in one of two places, three actually. In the Colorado River, washed down by the occasional rainfall that comes through, and by the same rain in the Great Salt Lake or the salt pans that surround the lake. Of note is that the Great Salt Lake is predicted to dry up in the next 10 to 20 years, owing to the fact that human consumption of water keeps increasing, and because this is a dry zone, the rest of the water evaporates from the lake. So in the next few years, you're going to have a barren trough of salt to play with as well, for those who are inclined to be adventurous. Adventurous because there is a draw here, like a moth towards the light, and it's not just the beauty of the rocks, it is the landscape, the stories, the trees, the resiliency, and everything that goes with being in a tough environment. Not just the ability of the organism to survive, but to thrive, to be parts of the land to grow and breathe with it. Breathing and growing sort of go hand in hand. You can't quite grow without breathing. But metaphorically speaking, the space is open. There is the smell and the feel of freedom. The sky is endless with nary a cloud. There is very little to blame man for here. In fact, I dare say nothing to blame man for. This land has stayed like this for generations, for years, thousands, millions, I do not know, but you can tell by the shapes and the contours of the land and the columns that watch the sun rise and sets every day that they have outlived every generation of human beings that has roamed these lands, and they're going to outlive us and those who will come after us. Standing here, watching these columns exist as they have for an uncountable number of years, and looking at these trees, younger than the rocks, and yet blending into this landscape shamelessly, I am fully convinced that the role of man here is a mere spectator, to leave the land as it is, to watch and enjoy the beauty from a close proximity perhaps, but not interfere. Perhaps it will change, perhaps it will not. It would be safe to say that it hasn't always existed as it is. Such is the manner of nature. It changes with time. Indeed, the only thing that doesn't change is change. And yet here it seems that time stood still 1,000 generations ago, and we must accept it as such. It is the way of the land after all.